irrelevant. I just got back from Mexico, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, how was that?
It's really interesting. You know, Mike Glover, myself, my dad went down to CPI, which is the Cellular Performance Institute, where we got stem cells. So I got to try it. I've had really, really bad neck issues, and I've basically been in a low level of pain for years. So I can't move my neck around very well, and then I have tendonitis, and I'm broken, I don't know, 5 or 6 bones. So it's just constantly in pain, you know? And a lot of it is I've been fortunate enough not to have lost any fingers and toes like you guys. And then you wear NVGs and kit for the majority of your 20s and 30s, riding around in vehicles, working at night, all that fucking weight on your head. Mm-hmm. And then it smashes I shouldn't say it smashes, but it compresses your vertebrae, gives you long-term back problems and neck problems. So Mike Glover just had neck surgery, and he's been dealing with it, very similar pain than I have, very, very similar. And we're basically at the same age. And fuck, dude, I do not want to have neck surgery because it can go 50-50. So we're fuck it, let's go down. And, my dad's got COPD, so hopefully it can help him with that. We'll see. We'll see in the next few weeks. I can tell you right now, CPI just as a organization, we're really fucking squared away. Scotty, the guy that runs it, really interesting guy. He seems like very genuine, authentic, and really fucking caring person. So the people there are really incredible. Staff's amazing. It's in TJ, so it's always it's in TJ.
We've been there.
Yeah.
For similar items.
Dude, it works.
So did you do the IV or the direct?
No, I
shot?
did the IV. So I couldn't get in on this round for the direct shot for your disc, but I got to go get another series of MRIs on my back, take a look at it. But right now I can tell you, which I'm not even a week out, but I don't remember a time where I've been pain-free, and that feels weird. It feels really weird. Yeah. It's like I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop. Okay. And I've been sleeping too, which is a whole other thing. Cool. I've been fucking sleeping. Mike, I call Mike every day, and I'm like, how you feeling? I call my dad, I call Mike, I'm like, how you feeling? He's like, it's fucking weird, dude. It's weird. Mike obviously had major neck surgery, and he had injections. So I'll have to let him speak to the process and what he thought of it. But it is strange. We were flying back on the plane talking about this feels weird. And I was turning my head talking to him, and I realized holy shit, I can turn my head left and right. Yeah. And it's man, is there something, when's the other shoe going to drop here? Yeah. Is there something going on? I don't know. And my dad,
just temporary,
dude. So my dad hasn't had to use his inhaler for the last week, and I check in with him every day. Dude, how you feeling? What's going on? So my process and what I'm trying to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to look at some of these other therapies, and then see how we can help develop a protocol. And then I'm going to sponsor a bunch of vets to go down there and go through some of these to see how well they work.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but you go down to Tijuana to do this because the U.S. has a certain limitation on the amount of stem cells that you can receive for a given treatment.
Yeah, and they're types too. So the FDA has basically restrictions on the type and then the amount. And so they've got to pull from your hip, and then they'll put them back in direct injection. And there's only so many that they can pull from you specifically and then put back. Plus it's yours. So if you're 50, 60 years old, you're not going to get the same result versus an umbilical cord or something like that, which I don't know exactly how they're manufactured, but they definitely have a different result. And then you have to go there's Panama, Colombia, Mexico. There's different places you can go in South America. this was recommended. This is where a lot of the MMA guys are going. So I was down there with Joshua Emmett. He just had a UFC fight like last week. Another guy, Stuart, who does documentaries on like MMA fighters. He's a Canadian. He's awesome. So much fucking good information around guys that are like, they all have really bad issues, right? So they have hip issues and tendonitis, and they've neck. Like neck is like the number one issue for everybody I've been talking to. It's so interesting because if you do a lot of jujitsu,
You're always
your
raining on that
neck
thing. Yeah.
gets fucked up. So the guys, a lot of the fighters are seeing huge results. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll continue to report on it over the next few months, and then if I continue to see the same results, then I'm going to sponsor
some more people to
I'm
get
gonna
down
sponsor
there.
some guys to go down there, and I'll pay for their treatment. But I wasn't going to start sponsoring guys to go down there unless I had like gone down, checked it out, met the people, and really gone through it to see, hey, is this something that we can go shoulder in? Because it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's not something like that's attainable for everybody. And like, if it works for vets, because it's supposed to be really good for TBI, I've absolutely noticed a difference just in the last few days, cognitively, that I'm a little bit faster. I can feel it. And it's not a placebo effect, because I have the same daily routine. I kind of go through like, I've talked about it before, where I do like math in the mornings, and I do it for speed, I do it for time and accuracy, and I do a bunch of other fucking apps. And there's a noticeable uptick.
I have to show you something.
You got a calculator?
Yeah, I got a calculator. I
Nice.
found this, but it's a shooter's calculator.
Oh, that's nice.
That
Remember we were
is
talking about
sick.
that last time, and I found this. God, I'm not going to be able to remember the company that I
That
got.
is
But they've got the
sick.
formula for
Yeah.
unknown distance right on there.
That is sick. That's a fucking good calculator.
Well, hey,
at us.
for Christmas, I got a 338 Lapua.
I saw that.
Yeah. It's very nice.
Yeah, that was the
We're going to need to do some math for that one.